Come on in, guys. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about Episode 5 of Survivor Winners at War. With the tribe swap completely shaking up the game and screwing up even the best laid plans, we had another super exciting and super fun episode. Seriously, there was a ton of great stuff this last episode, so I want to talk about my top 5 immediate takeaways from it. Rather than a full episode recap, I'll be highlighting 5 things from this episode I think we should be talking about. That might be specific characters, moves, or moments, or just general things I noticed. So that means big ol' fat spoiler warning for episode 5 of Survivor Winners at War. My 5th takeaway this episode is that Michelle and Wendell have very different definitions of what their relationship was. And that's hilarious. Michelle seems to be under the impression that her and Wendell were official, boyfriend, girlfriend, lovey-dovey, all that good stuff. Wendell, on the other hand, defines their relationship as kicking it. The show seemed to definitely take Michelle's side in this dispute, but I personally am not one of the two parties involved, so I don't want to comment on who is right and who is wrong. Still, their disagreement about just how serious they were is an important lesson that communication is the most important thing in a relationship, both in Survivor and in real life. My 4th takeaway is that there is a genuine possibility of Tony getting eliminated by default if Dakal goes to Tribal Council, and that is not great. Looking at the 5 people swapped to Dakal, Kim, Denise, and Sandra all have immunity idols. And Jeremy has an advantage to just walk away at Tribal Council. Tony is currently the only player on Dakal without some sort of advantage, meaning that if advantage getting happens and everyone plays their idols, Tony would go home by default. The crazy thing is, this is a distinct possibility that isn't even that hard to envision. Let's say Kim flips and Sandra's feeling the heat at Tribal Council. She plays her idol. Then Denise is spooked, so she plays her idol. Then Kim. At some point, Jeremy just gets up and nopes on out of there. This is a very real possibility, and just like Serene Game Changers, this would be a terrible way for a legendary player to leave the game. So guys, I don't know about you, but I'll be forming a prayer circle every Wednesday evening to beg the Survivor gods to spare Dakal from Tribal. I'm not prepared to lose Tony pre-merge again. My 3rd takeaway is that Ben and Adam made the wrong call on voting out Rob, and that isn't even my personal Boston Rob bias speaking. Ben and Adam only accomplished 2 things by voting out Rob. 1, they strengthen an already powerful Dakal majority, and 2, they ensure that if they go to Tribal Council again, one of them is for sure the next one out. While they can't be certain that either Sophie or Sarah has an advantage, they must certainly have considered the possibility, especially since they know that neither of them has the new Yara idol. And that's not even mentioning the possibility that either Sophie or Sarah have the Dakal idol or any other number of advantages. In my opinion, these 2 guys should have played like they were going to betray Rob and just thrown their votes on Sarah. If she plays an idol, Sarah and Sophie would be voting for Rob anyway, so they'd be exactly where they are already. I understand being frustrated by Rob's draconian buddy system strategy, but I just don't see this plan working out for either of them. And speaking of Rob, my 2nd takeaway this episode is that it was great to see Boston Rob play a classic Rob Father game, even if he ended up getting his torch snuffed at the end of the episode. Rob is someone who literally cannot play from the bottom. He must be in charge and he must be calling the shots. And about every other time he plays, people actually let him get away with this strategy. This time though, watching Rob play a neutered game where he's having to scramble to survive just didn't feel like watching Boston Rob. So I love seeing the Mafioso and Rob come out in this post-swap tribe, even if for only 1 episode. Look, it's certainly fair to knock Rob for being unable to adapt to a lesser position in the game, and once he's in that role, he usually goes home pretty quickly. But seeing him play such a big game and control things so effortlessly is what makes Boston Rob so watchable. Finally, my top takeaway this episode is that Yul is simply a beautiful soul. The segment of Yul talking about his friendship with Jonathan Penner going all the way back to Cook Islands, And his wife Stacy's battle with ALS was so incredibly touching, and I think it's wonderful that CBS put that on our screens to raise awareness for ALS research. And for Ewell to be such a strong champion for their cause really shows just how strong his character is. Wonderful segment and wonderful person. Got nothing else for you? Please consider bequeathing your fire tokens to the like and subscribe button, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.